Hello and welcome to our healthy back sequence that we will be doing from a supine position, laying on our backs today. This is a short series of exercises that you can do regularly on their own to help your back feeling healthy and well, or you can use it as a warm-up for something else afterwards. So once we come onto our backs, we will set up a nice neutral spinal position, nice active elongation, and we'll stay on our backs for the rest of everything from there. So come on onto your back, taking your head to the floor, shoulders back, sacrum down, bent knee position. And as you arrive, feel the natural, neutral S-shaped curves of the spine. Head resting squarely on the floor with a little bit of lift under the neck. Shoulders and ribs on the floor with a little bit of an energetic lift in the low back. Your back may or may not actually touch the floor, but it feels like it lifts underneath your navel a little bit. And then sacrum down. So as we come to neutral position, we're going to start with pelvic tilts, and as we go through our exercises today, we'll do about 8 to 10 repetitions of everything. The number of repetitions you do will depend on how fast or slow you complete them for yourselves, or how many you want to do. So find your deep low belly, 2 to 3 inches south of the navel, and from the deep low belly, the pelvic focal point, let's start making some pelvic tilts forward and backward. So as you tip forward, tack your tailbone down into the floor and arch into the low back, moving your navel towards the ceiling. And as you tip backwards, take the small of your back to the floor and slide your tailbone towards your heels. As we make these forward and backward, sometimes called anterior and posterior pelvic tilting motions, let the intensity or let the full range of motion increase gradually. All of our exercises today are going to be based on dynamic range of motion training, which means we want to take our body positions to their full but pain-free ranges of motion and glide smoothly and slowly through the movements and through the transition points. So let's do one more pelvic tilt here. And coming back to neutral position, keep the deep low belly stabilized and walk your feet wider than hip distance. You can place your arms anywhere they feel safe and supported, and sway the legs from side to side like windshield wipers in a nice, easy, gentle rain, please. Rolling from the outside of one hip to the outside of the other hip, coming through center. And as we complete several rounds of this, let your head rest back, let your shoulders, the upper half of your torso rest back. And just create a very nice side-to-side rhythm as we roll across the back brim of the pelvis, as we bring a little bit of inner and outer rotation to the thigh bones in the hip sockets. And we'll do maybe one, maybe two more side to side. Make sure to balance yourself out from right side to left side. And then bringing the legs back up to center, walk the feet into the position they started from. And now bring your attention to your diaphragm at your low ribs. Connect to your deep low belly and stabilize from this area, meaning we're not going to make any movement in this area as we raise the legs up to 90-degree angles. No arching, no rounding. Take one leg and drop it down, heel tap on the floor, and bring it back up to starting position. And then switch sides. So as we alternate, head back, shoulders back, sacrum down, try to minimize the movement through the torso to optimize the movement happening at the hip sockets. You might have your hands by your sides, or you can take them out to the side or overhead. And as you maintain stability through the torso, you can straighten the knees more, you can take them towards straight, or you can keep them bent. So again, as we alternate, the idea here is to help create some strength from the diaphragm to the pelvic floor, against which the legs can create movement. Let's do 2 more to each side. Be sure to balance yourself from right leg to left leg. Make sure you're not holding your jaw. Make sure you can wiggle your ears, wiggle your tongue. And then as you arrive, bend the knees in, return the feet to the floor, starting position. Draw your heels close to your glutes so your shins come to vertical, and take your feet hips, bones, distance apart with your arms by your sides. We're going to come up into a hip raise, or sometimes called a bridge pose exercise. So bend the elbows today, make Mr. Roboto arms at 90-degree angles. Push your feet into the floor, your elbows into the floor, armpits into the floor, and head rests back, puff up the chest. From there, raise the hips up, make a straight line, or you might go slightly beyond. Contract the muscles on the back of your body to open and brighten everything on the front of your body. Push down through your feet, push back through your elbows, back through the shoulders, and keep your gaze facing towards the ceiling. Now slowly lower down, bring your tailbone to the floor. Press into the floor to raise up again when you get to the top. Take 1 or 2 breaths here. Slowly lower down. So we're moving the spine as one long unit. We're not rolling up or rolling down, or sometimes called peeling up or peeling down. Let's do a couple more. We're going to move from neutral to extended. Take a breath or 2 in extended position, and then release back down to neutral, a breath or so at the bottom. Let's do a couple more, maybe 2 or 3. Raise up again. Lower down. And let's do 1 more here. Check that the thighs stay aligned in their parallel position. So imagine you're holding a grapefruit between your inner knees. Keep some magnetism between the knees, but don't squeeze so hard that you make juice. And then release all the way down from here. When you arrive at the bottom, lengthen both legs out fully. Sweep the arms overhead. And let's come into a boomerang position. Walk your heels to the right as far as you can comfortably with your legs together and touching. Tip your torso to the right, and with your right hand, hold your left forearm or your left wrist and give a little bit of a pull while you breathe now from the sole of the left foot through the ankle, up through the outer line of the leg into the left hip, up through the waist. Breathe into the space between all of the ribs. From the armpit to the elbow, elbow through the palm of the hand, and maybe even out through your fingernails. Release the tension and position through the upper body. Bring it back to center. Walk your heels through center and over to the left side. Right? Bring your legs together to touch from the thighs to the knees to the feet the best you can. Arms in overhead position. Tip your torso. And left hand holds right forearm or right wrist. Give a little bit of a draw. Create some traction for yourself and your body as you breathe fully from the right pinky toe along the entire line of the side body. Open up through the torso all the way up to the right pinky finger. And release the upper body, bring everything back to center. Bend your knees to slide your heels in, and draw your knees into your chest, holding on behind your thighs or around the knees themselves. Give yourself a well-deserved hug here to finish up. You can hold steady or roll around a little bit on your back. And from here, we'll roll to one side. Press up to sitting. And there we have it. We've moved our spine and our hips in a lot of different directions. And I hope you enjoy everything that's left to come today. So we'll see you soon. Bye.